Minasan, genki desu ka? Welcome to the Good Anime Palette Podcast.
Fuck is that?
This is... Okay, you want me to stop? Let's stop.
Genki desu ka? Jason-kun?
Okay, stop.
Watashi wa Wu desu. Bienvenue.
Okay, stop it.
No, it's fine. Let's just fucking roll with it. Let's
Roll
roll
with it. Okay. This is the Good Anime Palette Podcast. This is episode 7. I am your co-host, Jason. I am joined, as always, as usual, with Will. How's it going, buddy?
Ohayo minasan.
What was wrong with that intro?
It was just like I thought you were just gonna do the standard. Hello and welcome to the Good Anime Palette Podcast. I am your host.
What, like NPR?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was just like minasan. Yokoso. Welcome to the Good Anime. I was like, powerful. I love it.
Oh, dude. Oh,
this is the kind of energy we needed to start today's episode.
The volume was spiked so hard. Oh, this is gonna be great.
It's cool. We can just do some fucking like post editing. It's good.
Yeah, sure.
It's good.
Hey guys, how's it going? Will, how's it going?
I don't know.
buddy?
Are we getting delirious from the heat? Is that what happens?
I think so, man.
Yeah, dude. The office, like the central like air conditioning is usually it's on, but for today for some reason, especially when the summer started kicking in, it's off. So we're struggling, but you know the show must go on.
Yeah,
right?
of course. Anime and manga abound.
Yes. Oh, Genki desu. Right?
Genki desu.
Genki desu. We good.
Hajimashou.
Yeah. Okay. So, what's good with you, man? I'm assuming that
Okay, so
you know, things have been opening up for you now that you're almost done with
yeah.
a couple of things on your palette, right? Besides anime.
No, yeah, I got my thesis. I have to submit master's thesis on Monday midnight. So yeah, but other than that, that's it for school. Hopefully, unless if something bad happens, which may or may not happen.
I mean, you never know until you know, right? That's just how it is. Unless you've already been told that things are gonna be fine.
Yeah. So let's just see how it goes. Yeah. But anime and manga is waiting for me, and
Anime and manga is great.
Anime and manga is great. I will never graduate from anime and manga. I feel.
I feel like I've spent enough time to really think about how much longer I'd be watching anime and manga, and I just decided, you know what, like I don't even need to think about that anymore. I'll probably just keep watching it anyway, because a lot of the stuff I've watched, I could probably keep watching for the next 5, 10, 15 years. It's good. It's good
right.
shit.
All right, so let's get straight into what we've been watching. Will, can you watch this anime that you're going to start us off with for the rest of your life?
I was thinking of whether we wanted to start off with this one. I think I'm going to have to, on air, like on the fly, put this a little bit further down our list. Because I don't want to start off on such a bitter, bad tone. So perhaps we could bring something up just to lighten up the mood a little bit.
All right, fine.
First.
I'll rejiggle some things. So how about we just start with what we have been watching together?
Let's do that.
And let's start with the one that we just finished literally moments ago, which was Shadow's House.
Yeah, so we just caught up with episode 3.
Yep.
It's okay. So the first 2 episodes we watched, it's definitely a mystery anime. As in, like, there's a lot of uncertainties. There's like some things that they haven't fully revealed,
and sinister for sure. Sinister.
Definitely, it's not like a really uneasy kind of feeling. It's more just like you don't know what's going to happen, right? You don't know what's around the corner. You don't know what's going to happen in the next episode. But at least the episode we watched today, it kind of answered a few of those questions about what's going on with the Shadow's house, what's going on with these characters, and I quite like it.
Yeah, this revelation is definitely shed some light, but also shed how grim and mysterious, and I'm just gonna keep saying sinister because it really does feel that way.
It's Tim Burton-esque. Right?
It is extremely Tim Burton-esque. So if you like Tim Burton stuff, which I mean a lot of people do, I'm okay with it. I think his style, and it's not like it's his style, but it's just it's well known that this is what Tim Burton is into.
Yeah, I mean, like, I really like Nightmare Before Christmas. Great.
Yeah, it's good.
Corpse Bride, not as much.
It's all right.
Right? But I mean, no denying.
Hey, the Batman movies are pretty okay.
There's a specific aesthetic that he goes for, and it works for him.
Yeah,
it works for people who like his stuff.
Yeah. So, the next one that we watched separately, but we watched all of it together was Higehiro. Did you watch episode 4?
I have not. I've watched episodes all the way through. I think I watched episode 4. I think I watched episode 4.
Okay.
Definitely the first 3. But I mean, like, is it going to be massive spoilers for me? We're not going to be like, what is there really to spoil other than the fact that it's about a salaryman who never shaved, and then he met a high school girl, and then he
Okay.
shaved.
I think to play it safe, we'll just say that we watched it, and I watched definitely all 4 episodes. It's really good. Yeah, and the only reason why I mentioned that is because when we go into what I have been watching on my own, it would be a very interesting to compare and contrast Higehiro with.
Yeah, I can confirm. I only watched episode 3.
Okay, there you go. Then thank God I didn't say anything. Tokyo Revengers.
That is, I started that one first, and then you jumped on afterwards.
Yep. I wasn't gonna watch it in the beginning, but then I was like, why not?
But we can both agree, right? It's basically Erased,
But with delinquents.
yeah, and they're not really like
Okay,
this
so
was supposed to be like a much longer running series. I think the manga is currently up to like
volume 20.
yeah.
And Tokyo Revengers is a manga series. And it is basically about how do you explain it really? It's
Person experiences a massive traumatic event, and then that causes like a massive shock to him, and somehow unearths superpowers, which in this case is time travel.
which is hence why we said it was Erased, but with delinquents, because the main character and kind of his interactions with a lot of characters when this person time travels back to is very filled with delinquents and people getting beat up, people, doing crime, kind of.
Like, as much as we say it's basically Erased, it's also not at the same time Erased. Like Erased, there's like a clear focus on like what the main plot is, and then like the characters keep pushing you towards reaching the conclusion of that plot. Right now, I think there's a lot of things that are happening in Tokyo Revengers that it's kind of hard to concentrate on what specifically is the main central plot. There's a central plot line, but we're not really like that focused on it yet because there's so many things happening.
Yeah, there's
time.
too many different tracks, as I would say. There is like a romance track, like a romance plot line. There is like friends plot line. There is the time travel plot line. It's a lot of things to keep up with if you think about it, and they kind of each go at a slow pace rather than focus on one of each. And
yeah, like all those things are happening at the same time rather than like, let's do this and then do that and then do this. So you're not really progressing all that much throughout each episode, but at the same time,
I mean, you're progressing quite a bit, but it's not enough to push.
But you mean like quite a bit in terms of like what? In terms of there's a fight, and then at the end of the episode, the fight ends.
Okay,
that's it, right? Like nothing else happens to furthering the story. But then you go to the next episode, and then you unearth a little smidgen of what the story is about. So it's cool. I like it, but I think there's still a lot that we need to see before we can give it like full judgment, right?
But as of right now, I would say it is okay.
It's not bad.
It is okay.
It's not bad.
I'm definitely going to continue watching to see what's up, but it wasn't as good as I thought it would be.
Right. Well, there was a show that I thought definitely wasn't going to be good.
Well, okay.
We need to talk about it now, just for like 30 seconds. Cestus is shit. Cestus is fucking awful.
Okay, so Cestus is a Crunchyroll. It's streaming on Crunchyroll.
Yep.
Do you remember if it's a manga, right?
I think so.
Oh my god. Okay, I have to double check that right
but
now.
I don't think there was much like of a rating on Mal for the manga.
Yes, it is a manga.
Is there a score for it? I don't think there was when I looked at it.
I don't know. I'm just looking at Wikipedia right now.
Yeah. So this thing is not good. It's not great.
Yeah, you wanted to watch it.
I wanted to because why not? It's, about fucking like Roman fighters and gladiators and shit, right? So, hey, anything like that should be able to interest me. I actually couldn't finish the episode. You managed to finish it.
No. Let's be clear. I managed to finish one episode.
Yeah, that's like 3 times more than what I watched. I watched 8 minutes.
Okay, yeah. Okay, it's 3D as heck. Oh, it's a 7.49.
The manga?
Yes.
Okay.
on Mal.
Right.
And 7.3. There's a spin-off or something? Something, I don't know. But anyways, they're both seems a lot higher than the 5.49 on Mal.
Yeah. Don't waste your time with it. Or do. I can't tell you what to do.
To be honest, I'll just say this. It's about a Roman fighter in a coliseum, and they fight. Whoever doesn't win, they die, and it's a bunch of slaves, and Cestus being one of the slaves, and then...
Completely inaccurate. Why the hell would you kill your slaves so quickly? Those possessions are a lot of money, man.
Oh, Jesus. Stop. Okay, so
Right?
I would say if the parting thought is, the most damning thing I can say about Cestus is that it is not bad enough that you can laugh at it, like X-Arm, for example, that we've been doing last season. But also, you feel guilty for laughing at it because it's not bad enough.
I think it takes itself very seriously as well.
And there's no fun to be had. And I think Cestus, if you can say Cestus as an entity, is not even having fun. No one is having fun.
Yeah, it's boring.
Yep. Okay, so that's it for the stuff that we've been watching as a group. Will, do you think you're ready, or you want to go to me?
Well, I mean, you want to go first? I can go first.
All right.
I mean, I'll just start off with some of the good stuff I've been watching.
Sure. Let's go.
So, I mean, we're still continuing this whole little secret anime, mystery anime train, but at least this time, it wasn't hard to guess what it was. So I've been watching this anime series called My Little Monster. And it originally came from a manga. It hasn't been fully adapted. I don't think it ever will be. But it's a slice-of-life romance comedy.
Wait, what? I'm sorry. Well, sorry. I'm sorry. Say that again.
It's a slice-of-life romance comedy.
Wait, I watched it.
No, I don't think you actually have watched it.
No, I haven't. I'm setting you up.
You probably would be able to watch it. You probably would.
Yeah.
But I mean, I watched it before you. I know it's weird.
What?
I actually watched a slice of life that has comedy that
and
also has
romance.
romance too.
What?
And I actually like it. So it's about a girl and a boy, of course, right? A boy and a girl, or a boy and a boy, a girl and a girl. There's always going to be a couple of sorts, right? A couple, two people of interest, and one is a very, very cold and serious person, and the other one is a very joyful but also very stupid person.
Yeah, okay.
And they learn to sort of coexist with each other. Like, why does one person's whose personality is very completely opposite of the other person's personality, how are they supposed to be able to come together and actually get along? And then when they actually start unearthing more about each other, it turns out they actually have feelings for each other. And then you just, go through the whole motions of watching their shenanigans, making new friends, and really coming to terms with what it means to be loved and what it means to love someone. Teenage shit. Surprisingly, though, I actually really like this one. I don't really watch a lot of slice of life or romance, but this is one of the few where I can actually say, hey, I give it 8 out of 10. Or 4 out of 5.
So basically, this is, I think I said this. This is the beginning of Fluffy Sama Will.
So I've watched Anohana.
Yeah, there you go.
I wouldn't count Sakurako because it's not really edgy or fluffy or whatever. It's just another good. It's just another decent show. Fruits Basket.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm waiting to watch season 2 because it's another 25 episodes of greatness. And then now My Little Monster.
Yeah. So you watched a bit of Toradora.
I did.
You watched a bit of A Place Further Than the Universe.
Yep, I did.
So there you go. Hey, you're building up your repertoire, your resume.
What's next? Clanad?
I don't know.
Clanad After Story?
I'm like thinking, going through my mind.
I'm looking at you because you're the one. You're the fluffy encyclopedia.
Yeah, but it's not really. There's so many avenues you can go down, but which one is the right one for you? Will is
all of them, right? Apparently, according to you, as long as I'm going down the fluffy path, it doesn't matter which direction I take, right?
How about Silver Spoon?
What is it? That's an anime? Hold on, I've never heard of this before.
Wait, you've never heard of Silver Spoon?
No.
Oh God,
I can't even say that. Looking at the image, I have no idea what it is.
For those who are unaware, Silver Spoon is an anime based on a manga, and it is literally about a city boy growing up in a high school that is an agricultural high school.
Right. That explains why there's horses and cows everywhere.
And it is slice of life as heck.
Oh, it's A1 Pictures as well.
It's also really good. There's not a lot of romance, or if any, really. But in terms of slice of life and just comfiness, fluffiness, Silver Spoon is a pretty classic choice.
I think you gave it a 9 out of 10.
Yes, I did give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I was looking at your mail earlier.
Yeah.
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 Sorry for invading your privacy.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be private, bro.
But you also, you made it public for me.
Wait, you can't make it public for certain people.
I was able to see what you've been reading. I saw you dropped Yasuke this morning.
Wait, how's that? Okay, fuck, we'll talk about this.
You need to fix up your privacy.
Yeah, I need to
settings,
fix privacy settings. Actually, having you being able to access it is actually what I wanted from the start because
Yeah.
I don't want a lot of people to see it. But hey, anyways, yeah, that's good. So, yeah, okay, just My Little Monster is great. You can watch it. You watched it on Netflix, right?
Netflix in Hong Kong,
And it's
Netflix
also
Hong Kong.
available on Crunchyroll. Is that
Absolutely.
correct?
It shouldn't be a hard show for you to access. Only 13 episodes. Well, it's quick and easy.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
I mean, 13 episodes. It's still quite long. I mean, like that's several hours, but you don't have to watch it in one sitting. I didn't. I watched it over a couple days.
Okay, so now that we have said those things, I will now give the floor to Will to talk about a certain show that I have consumed a little bit of. Okay, he's drinking his water, he's getting ready. Do you need to do like the do re mi fa, like
No, I'm not about to give this any prep.
All right,
whatsoever.
bring
I'm
it.
just gonna
Let's go.
straight in.
Do I need to time this?
So on Thursday, at least Thursday in Hong Kong, we got the drop of Yasuke. Yasuke, the animation, the original, done by LaShawn Thomas, with Keith Stanfield as the main voice actor.
Who's LaShawn Thomas?
So he has worked on several different Western properties. So, say for example, like The Legend of Korra, The Boondocks. So he's done a couple of shows that were originally on Nickelodeon and Adult Swim over in the U.S. And then he also then created a anime original called Cannon Busters. This one was done off of a Kickstarter. It went live a couple years ago. I remember watching it, and I didn't hate on it, but I wasn't impressed by it either. The main issues I had with it was, whilst the music and the visuals are great, especially with the visuals being done by a small studio, it actually was on par of what I hoped to see. The issue was that the story was very jumbled, and I didn't quite understand what the plot was telling me. I'm not going to spoil it because I feel like if you cared enough to watch it, you would. But based off of me, I mean, it's hard for me to tell you to watch it. But
Yasuke is a Netflix anime original, right?
Yes.
So it's not available anywhere else.
You have to go through Netflix.
Right. And
Yeah.
it's available Thursday.
No, it came out on Thursday, at least Thursday Hong Kong time.
Right.
So it was a worldwide premiere. I think it's on every version of Netflix.
And it's an anime original, you said?
Yes.
And it is only 6 episodes.
Yes. I thought I had the floor.
Sorry.
Yeah. So it's 6 minutes each episode, 30 minutes long. The Keith Stanfield, he's done several different shows and movies. One of which is Atlanta. Atlanta. I haven't watched the show, but I hear a lot of good things about it. He does the voice for Yasuke, so he's the main voice actor. For the music director is Flying Lotus, who's one of my favorites electronic / lo-fi hip hop music artists. Does some really, really great work, and he was in charge of doing the opening, doing the general music for the show. So you get a lot of kind of like hip hoppy Samurai Champloo vibes. The animation is done by one of my favorite studios, one of the most consistent studios recently, Mappa. Mappa's been doing a lot of great work over the last 2 years, and they were in charge of doing the animation for the show for Yasuke. So you had a director who has had experience with not just creating working on Western media, but also creating his own anime, albeit to middling successes. Some say more successful. I think it's just okay. And then there is also Flying Lotus, great music producer. Mappa Studios, great anime studio. Lakeith Stanfield, good actor with a good voice that matches the main character. What could possibly go wrong? That's where I was massively betrayed, because the opening music is fantastic. The opening montage where it starts zooming into feudal Japan, amazing. Visually, orally, amazing. And then the robots show up. And then the magic arrows show up. And then the mechas show up. And then the furries show up. And then wizards start showing up. And then all of a sudden, like, you start wondering what the hell is actually happening in this show. And I felt really let down because I was really hoping that it would be more of like a historical piece as opposed to a fantastical piece. Like, I think you and I already talked about this before, right? If it's a sci-fi setting, if it's a fantasy setting, cool. You could have robots and mechas. You could have magic powers. You can have furries and werewolves and shit. Cool. But there's got to be substance to it. There's got to be a reason why these things exist in this world. Why the fuck are there samurai who fight with swords when you can easily just blow them up with a laser from a fucking robot? None of it makes sense. And the more you watch it, you can't help but feel that even the studio themselves were a little bit betrayed because the fight sequence were beautiful. The music is done great. The sound is fantastic. The voice acting is also really good, both from an English standpoint and a Japanese standpoint. Yes, I've watched both. Both are great. But the story, man, there's no consistency to it. I don't understand what the story's about. Like, I thought we're supposed to be focusing on Yasuke, who is a warrior, a samurai of African descent that served under Oda Nobunaga, who was one of the daimyos who wanted unification of Japan back in the 1500s. But we don't focus on that. No. We're focusing on this little girl who has fucking, like, Jean Grey powers. She's like fucking Dark Phoenix. And all of a sudden, like, everybody's trying to chase after her and take her powers because they're going to make their society more powerful. But then fucking Yasuke comes in and is like, no, I will protect you. I'm a drunk, but I will protect you. Cool. What the fuck are you going to do? Oh, no, this girl's super powerful. She's going to blow shit up. And then all of a sudden, there's a fucking pastor. There's a fucking missionary from Europe who's like, no, black is bad. This guy's bad. Then the racism starts kicking in. Then the sexism starts kicking in. And I don't understand. It's like, is this supposed to be a blaxploitation TV series? Is this supposed to be is this like an Abe Lincoln vampire hunter kind of thing? Is it's like based on real people but in a fantasy setting? But then the fantasy setting also has mechas, which is, so it's like cyberpunk, but like there's also like magical auras and werewolves. So like what's the general theme? What's the story? I'm halfway through and I still have no idea what the fuck's going on. And it's supposed to finish in 3 more episodes. Like, I don't know. To those who hear Mappa Studios, Lakeith Stanfield, LaShawn Thomas, fucking Flying Lotus, all this put together should make for a fantastic show. But the story just leaves me wanting something concrete, something of substance. I unfortunately cannot recommend you watch the show, but in the end, it's up to your own curiosity to open up Netflix and crack the show open and see for yourself what the fuck I'm talking about. Because even after all this, I still don't know what the fuck the show's about. So I'll just leave it at that.
All right. It has a 6.14 on my anime list.
It was a 6.41 yesterday.
Okay.
And it's been going down and down. Over the last 24 hours, it's gone down by 0.3 points. More than that.
Yeah. Okay. You good, bro?
I've been better, but dude, let's just try and bring up the mood again. Let's just bring the shit back up again. Let's not talk about me anymore. Let's talk about you.
Yeah.
You've been watching stuff too, right?
Yeah.
I hope that you had a better time than me.
Like like two thirds of it, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's start with the shit.
Oh my god. You also had some. Not, I wouldn't say it's a bad experience.
So I think last episode we talked about Higehiro and sort of, or Higewasaru, which we praised, and we just talked about it earlier. And we said it's pretty good.
Praise is a bit strong. I would say it was a good show.
I would give it praise for sure. And then I said that on Crunchyroll there is another show called Koi Kimo. Obviously the title is way longer, but the shortened version is called Koi Kimo. It's based on a web manga. I think the full title is Koi yo Nobu ni wa Kimochi wa Rui, which stands for It's Too Sick to Call This Love. Now, if that title doesn't cause some concern, yeah, well, anyways, I watched it, one episode of it, because I thought I would actually watch more, and I couldn't. And it's interesting because the reason why I mentioned Hige Hiro is because this also features a relationship of some sort between an older gentleman and a young high school girl.
What could possibly go wrong?
This anime is utter trash. Okay. Let's break this down. So, what it's basically about this really successful businessman, blonde hair, like just supposed to be very good looking and very successful and very charismatic. And then one day he was saved by this high school girl. He was about to fall down a flight of stairs and she kind of like reined him in to like save him. After that fateful encounter, this person is really, really all of a sudden enamored by this high school girl. And she's like, the high school girl is like, no way, man. This is mad creepy. I gotta go to school. I'll check you out. I'll see you some other time, whatever. And then the businessman is like, oh, okay, what? Oh man, I want to know who she is. Then he goes home after his day of work and opens the door to the living room. Surprisingly, there is that girl who saved his life. And it turns out that she is the best friend of the guy's younger sister. Okay. And then he professes his love to this high school.
Wait. How many episodes are you in when he starts professing his love?
I think this is like about 8 to 10 minutes in.
Of episode 1?
Of episode 1.
What? Okay.
So, basically, I have to say, the only sane person in this show is the female main character high school girl. And everyone else is deranged. And I'll explain why. First of all, the male main character is obviously deranged because he does really stalkerish stuff, which I will get into in like just a little bit.
Yeah, what you've said to me is he's hella creepy.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start with that too then. He does stuff that is hella creepy.
Yeah.
The main female character says, dude, you're being hella creepy. Get away from me. And his response was, oh yeah, talk back to me like that. I love that. Okay. And then the male main character's little sister, who's the best friend of the female main character, has no issues with the two of them, quote unquote, dating. But at the same time describes her brother, her older brother, her dashing older brother, as a scumball. That was the direct subtitle translation that I read. It was not misconstrued. It just says the word, my brother is kind of a scumball.
Hey, okay. Man, if Crunchyroll calls him a scumball, he probably is a scumball.
Okay, and then he would send, every day he would send her a flower, one flower. Kind of like coronation or something like that. Anyways, so then the mom would receive the delivery, and she interprets this as super romantic because it's one flower, man, and one flower is just like your Japanese name, one flower, you know, and it's just like, oh yeah, like isn't it great? No. They meet up by coincidence at a supermarket. And this is towards the end of episode 1. And we're still at episode 1. The main female character has to go buy groceries for the mom and then bumps into the main male character by coincidence. And then he follows her around saying, oh, you're going to buy that shampoo, right? The shampoo that you like a lot, which is this brand. Oh, your favorite color is this. Your favorite food is this. Which is like just mad creepy. Then on top of that, they arrive, they're walking around, then they arrive at a sample shop. And by the way, at this point, the female main character is like, just get away from me, please. And the guy is just having a ball. He's enjoying it. Then the guy, there's like a sample, like food sampler place where he's like, oh, hey, do you want to try this this sausage,
Yeah.
you know, and they put on a toothpick and give it to him, and they try, oh, it tastes really great, and give it to the guy, and they say, oh, you guys are a couple, and then she's like, no, and he's like, yes, okay, whatever.
He's basically forcefully grooming her.
And then she throws away the toothpick because she obviously finished using it. The male guy stands next to the trash can and stares at the trash can. So, okay, if that wasn't obvious enough, they do the anime thing of the arrow from his eyes, and then they show, like, increments of steps to the trash can. And then, if that's not good enough confirmation, the girl turns around because she realizes he's not following her and is like, you are not thinking about picking up that toothpick, right? And the guy says, that's crossed my mind. Was it too obvious? Holy shit. The romance comedy part of this is there's no comedy. There's no romance. The anime should not be called, it's too sick to call this love. It should be called an example of when you should get a restraining order. The title of the first episode is He's Not Entirely Bad. What the fuck, Will? Like, I'm not even talking about the age gap difference. Like, he's in his 30s and then she's 17. Like, I'm not even going to talk about that.
That's really weird enough on its own.
Or like, whatever, right?
Because Hige Wasaru follows a similar kind of age gap, right? But we don't really talk shit about that. Like, there's other things to focus on. And, like, people actually like the show. It's real.
Even when the age gap is not an issue.
Let's make her 18, right? Let's make her 18.
Or no, even if they're the same age,
yeah.
Those actions and conduct is just not. It's
grooming, it's stalking, it's invasion of privacy.
It's almost sexual harassment, kind of.
Harassment, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Well, I thought I had a bad time watching an anime.
It is a travesty that when I say that there is an age gap romantic comedy kind of thing, people might even look at this and Higehiro and not know which of the two. It is a travesty.
I mean, the age gap, both of them have it, right?
Yes.
But one plays it at a tone where it's like exploring what it means to have a potential relationship with this age gap, whereas the other one, it's like you said, it's not about age at all. It's just about a creepy man doing creepy things to a young girl
who is the only person that is aware of how messed up this whole thing is.
So it's just like everyone else around her is just basically enabling this shit behavior.
Yes. At least the first episode, I have not met one person other than the main female character telling everyone that everyone is crazy. They all think like, oh, he's harmless, or he's just being affectionate. I don't know, dude.
This is why we have incels, man.
Okay, so I'm done with that bullshit. How are we doing on time, Will?
We're fine, dude. We're completely fine.
Okay, then let's talk about something else that let's talk about isekais. Isekais. So, I think isekais are pretty, done to death. And
there's so goddamn many, man.
And I watched one. It's called Slime 300. It's the shortened term, of course. It is based on a light novel, and there is a manga adaptation. The full title, which I will not say the Japanese full title because I don't think I can. But the English full title is I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level. And it's essentially about a woman, an office lady who collapsed due to overexhaustion at work and then gets reincarnated as an immortal, cute wizard. And she just doesn't want to do any of the heroic stuff that comes with, all those typical isekais that you hear about being the hero and having
massive quests.
Yeah, saving the
creating
planet.
A band of merry men and going off and saving the world or your kingdom.
Like that kind of fantastical dream. No, all she wants to do is just, I'm just going to go to this starter town, like this town that is like very unassuming, very harmless, and just chill on top of a hill.
Ha, nice rhyme.
Yeah. And then she is surrounded by these slimes that are, for all intents and purposes, extremely, extremely weak. That can die when you flick them with a finger. So then, but because she's immortal, she kills these slimes over a period of 300 years and essentially maxed out her in-game or in-world level to 99. And then hilarity ensues. Basically, it is a lot of cute girls doing cute things in an isekai, but it's very slice of life. There's not much point. Like, there's not grand quests. There is no, like, evil person. It's just more like this woman who gets a second chance at life, literally, and then decides to just take it easy, but is also hella strong. So she tries her best to be as relaxed and as kind of, I don't want any of this heroic stuff. I just want to be in my little corner for the rest of my life.
And just kill slimes.
And it's okay. It's okay. It's pretty good. I will check it out. I will continue to check it out.
Got a preliminary score for it right now?
I would say it's like a 7.
Like a 3.5 out of 5?
3 to 3.5 out of 5, yeah.
Right. So it's not like fantastic, but like it'll do. It'll do for like some easy, like light watching.
It's extremely chilled and laid back.
Yeah.
Very slice of life, very lighthearted. There's nothing special about it, but there's nothing terrible about it either.
I mean, it's a slice of life isekai, right? Like,
yeah.
How groundbreaking is a slice of life going to be?
And it's I wouldn't say the comedy is extremely funny, but it's good enough.
Yo, dude, like if you just wanted to have like a chilled day, just an hour or two of just light anime watching, that sounds like a pretty decent show to just put on, right?
Yeah.
Where did you watch it?
I watched it on Crunchyroll.
Got it. Okay.
All right. So
get your Crunchyroll subs on.
I think last episode we talked about video games.
Yes.
And we name dropped a certain video game called The World Ends With You,
which I haven't played, but you have.
I have on the DS. And they announced animation, which we also told you in last episode, and
yep.
I have watched it. Needless to say, don't watch it. Basically.
Wow. Okay.
If you really want to play the game, you should play the game. Because, to be honest, the thing that it was most impactful to me about The World Ends With You, the game, was the battle mechanic and the art. And kind of the music. I mean, the music, some people I think might not like it, but it was okay for me. In the anime, the art style is pretty good. It's like that cel-shaded 2D, 2.5D.
Okay.
So it looks very clean and very nice. And it's not blocky or janky, so it doesn't look too bad. In fact, it looks really good. The enemies, on the other hand, look very 3D and glossy and shiny. So it is based off of, as you would expect, a video game. It's about a guy that wakes up in Shibuya. And long story short, he has to battle his way out of Shibuya, make friends. There is this evil faction that wants to kill these people, so on and so forth. The pacing for this anime is insane. Within the first episode shouldn't even be a first episode per se. It should just be an info dump. Okay? I've played the video game, so I know what was going on. And even the video game, I would say, has pacing issues. So to say that the anime has pacing issues is like doubly worse. Like, and I know what's going on, or like I remember bits and pieces of what's going on.
The game came out like 14 years ago.
Yeah. So, but I still remember bits and pieces and seeing it, things come flooding back in. But I was like, wow, you would not understand all these terms that they're throwing out. What's a pact? Okay, I know what the English version means, and I can surmise what it means. Oh, what are these like enemies called? And then it's just, and then there are the Reapers. But what are Reapers? What is going on? Like, it's just.
See, the problem with those kind of like, adaptations is like you kind of expect people who are watching this to have already played or like understand the property. So like, if you knew about, for example, like Tower of God, you would have read Tower of God and then watched it. Or like if you like know about The World Ends With You, then like they would assume that for the most part,
okay,
people would have played it and then got into the anime.
But to be fair, with the Persona anime series, even though I don't like the Persona 5 the anime, I love Persona 5 the game.
Right.
But Persona 5 the anime I thought wasn't that great. Persona 4 the anime was pretty good, and the Persona 3 movies were really good. And similarly with Tower of God, you don't have to play the game to see some good and appreciation of the story. For example, you and I, Will, we have not. Oh no! In the beginning, you've read some of the webcomic, right?
Yeah.
A webtoon of Tower of God, but
Yep.
you could still watch Tower of God and still appreciate and gain a lot from it.
Oh yeah, I mean they take away some of the. They take away quite a lot, but they don't take away stuff that's like, oh, we don't know what this character's name is. We don't know what these monsters are. We don't know what this world is. Like, at least they'll give you everything.
In The World Ends With You,
Yeah.
the guy literally wakes up in the middle of the street, and then it starts. Okay, the game starts almost exactly the same, but that's a game. This is not a game. This is an anime. The battle mechanics that I think a lot of people who play the game is so fond of is obviously not there because it's an anime. I'm sure that there are plenty of people who have played the game that looked at this anime and know what's going on and like it a lot. I don't think if you've played the game, you would gain much from it at all, which is very reflective of the score on my anime list that it has. I think it has like, I don't know, low 6?
6.23.
There you go. So, yeah.
But if you look at the Google Play Store or the Apple the App Store, the game's there for like $17-18. At least in the Google Store, it's on the Play Store, it's like 4.7 stars out of 5. So if anything, save yourself the subscription, or like just don't watch the anime and play the game instead.
The game is good.
Yeah.
All right. Now, let's talk about Pretty Boys. Will.
I think you've been excited to talk about this one, right?
Jesus Christ, when you say it like that, it makes me sound like a creep.
Hey, when you say let's talk about Pretty Boys, it's kind of hard to put a spin on it, right?
Okay, fine. So, there is a series of light novels and anime called the Monogatari series.
Which you love.
And I sincerely love the whole series from beginning to end. It was a fantastic watch. There was so many episodes. There's like, what was it? We calculated it was like 40-something hours or something.
I think if you were to watch it all back to back to back, you'd have to open and like just glue your eyes to the TV for well over 2 days straight.
Right. Yeah. So
there's OVAs, there's like short anime series, there's long anime series, there's movies in between as well. So,
and it's still ongoing.
The whole shebang.
It's made by Studio Shaft. So I really like the Monogatari series in general. And Nishio, who is the original writer of the novels, I think is pretty talented. This person then has created a new novel series back then as well. So it's not new per se. It's called Pretty Boy Detective Club. It is also now an anime this season, and it is made by Studio Shaft. It's also directed by the same visionary director who directed the Monogatari series. So Bakemonogatari and pretty much all of the Monogatari stuff. He is the director. And if you like the Monogatari series, this is essentially Monogatari, but instead of a guy surrounded by women, it is one girl surrounded by a bunch of guys.
It's like the high school club anime, right?
Yes, that's correct. Ouran High School Host Club.
That's it.
So essentially, it's Ouran High School Host Club, which actually is a pretty good anime in of itself. And it's Ouran High School Host Club mixed with Monogatari, and you will have Pretty Boy Detective Club.
Like the story itself, it's written by
Nishio.
It's directed by the Monogatari people
from Studio Shaft. It's essentially they reunite and make this property with basically all the people who are involved in the Monogatari series.
It's cool because I think this is just us personally talking as well. It was like one of the studios you do like, which is Shaft. It's like they haven't really done all that much recently. So for them to
they did the Madoka Magica stuff.
Okay, but like outside of that though, like,
no,
they're not as active, right? I mean, like Trigger's coming out with a lot of stuff recently. Mappa's coming out with a lot of stuff. Cloverworks
And the last Monogatari of the main arc was covered like 2 years ago or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right in terms of the repertoire recently.
So it's cool to see that they're back with something that, if you are a fan of Shaft, if you are a fan of Nishio,
Yep.
then this should be something that will keep you company. It'll be a good time.
Like in terms of the witty dialogue, even the stopgaps of the different chapters that Monogatari is known for, the camera angles, the shot composition, the music is really good. I just feel that this is an anime that has flown under the radar. And I think partially because when you hear the title Pretty Boy Detective Club, you're just going to be like, anime guys, like, come on. But look, it flew under the radar for me as well. I did not know that it was written by Nishio. I did not know the original work was written by Nishio. I did not know it was directed by the same group of people who did the Monogatari series. I didn't know it was Studio Shaft until like a coincidence one day. I was just seeing what is airing this season. It's really good. That's really it. You should watch it if you like the Monogatari series. If you don't, you should also still watch it because it's good. That's it, really.
Sounds like at least like of the solo stuff you've watched, there was some good stuff, right? For me, like I had one good show and one not so good show.
I had 2 for 2.
Yeah,
So, too good, too bad.
Yeah, so like World Ends With You, Koikimo, nah, like skip it. But then the other one is like your 2 shows that you did enjoy watching, right? Pretty Boy, that one you liked, right? And then Slime 300, that one you said was okay. It wasn't like fantastic, but it was like it's a good watch.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I mean I can recommend My Little Monster for sure. It's a fun watch, a very easy watch as well. But it was not easy to get through like the first 3 episodes of fucking Yasuke.
Yeah. All right, so we'll end this section with what I'm about to say, which is, so we talked about Higehiro, and then we talked about Koikimo. And they're both age gap romance kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There is an anime and there is a manga that I have read recently, and I will watch the anime, that is also an age gap romance. But instead, this one I've also heard many positive things about. In fact, I've heard one person even say that if you were to sort of want to appreciate or understand what this age gap romance genre is about, you should read After the Rain or watch the anime that's made by Wit Studio. We were talking about how awesome Wit Studio was last episode, or even the episodes since the dawn of time. They produced this, and we will see how it goes. I think it's decent so far, but I haven't really seen what makes it what people say about it is.
I mean, give it some time to marinate.
Yeah, I mean, there's 10 volumes. There's 1 season. I can see myself consuming quite a good amount of it. All right. Oh my god. What, this past 50 minutes has been pretty intense.
It's been emotional, hasn't it? I feel like I've had my heart ripped out many times, and then I managed to come back because in the end, I still love anime. I still love manga.
Yeah, I feel like I was staring at that screen for Koikimo and was like, this can't be. This thing looks so harmless, but if you think about it, it's the worst thing on the human planet.
For me, it was like when I was put on the spot to talk about Yasuke, it hurt, right? Like I would never want to go ahead and just bash someone's work. Even whatever I said, I'm not bashing the show. I'm just trying to get some clarity as to what the show is trying to mean, trying to portray to me. And I've watched a fair amount of bad shows. Look, I don't wish anything ill or bad of anybody.
Exactly. We don't want to wish ill will or something bad to happen to the creators or the staff. But when you produce a work, a literary work, a movie, a TV series, or anything really, and you're putting it out there for the public to consume, I think it's just as fair for the public to assess.
You're putting yourself up for critique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we pay money to consume it, and we feel to a certain extent that we need to feel like our purchase was justified.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean that you go and make death threats? No. Does that mean that you go and wish that this person will never succeed or produce anything ever again. No. But what this means is this one thing, specific thing that we consumed, we can have an opinion, and we should.
Yeah. And unfortunately for me, like Yasuke, it's not on my palette. For you, Koikimo, definitely not on your palette.
It's in the bin. That's the palette.
Yeah. Right? It's on your palette. You threw that whole fucking palette away, right?
Yeah. And then I felt like my mouth was messed up,
And then you put the trash can which the palette was in outside, and then you called the police to say, "Can you take the shit away from me?" And the police like, "This is not our responsibility. You have to call someone. Even you have to call the higher ups."
So I have to burn. I burned it and then buried it in the ground, and even the dirt was like, bro,
it started to erode, man.
Bro,
it's like,
bro, bury a seed, but don't bury this.
Yeah, I'm sure there are people that can find some enjoyment out of Yasuke because. I mean, you've watched like a little bit as well.
Yeah, I watched like 10 minutes.
But the fight sequence is fantastic.
The choreography in the fight was pretty good.
Right.
Actually, I watched the first episode, not the first 10 minutes. But
right. But it's like visually, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's
music wise, it's so good.
I still think that the music, if you were to take everything out and put it in like the Ghost of the Shell or like a Blade Runner, it would just be very good as well.
Cyberpunk sci-fi.
Yeah.
Kind of like...
That's not to say that the music is bad. It's the opposite. I feel like the music is really good, and I feel like using it in this context adds something to it rather than it being, oh, this is of that genre.
Yeah, it's not just a show with good music. It is the music is part of the show. It helps to drive the narrative. It helps to push characters from point A to point B. It's just that unfortunately certain characters, whilst developing, aren't necessarily important to the overall story because the story itself couldn't decide what it's trying to tell you.
Okay, so that's what we've been watching. There is no news section because
really not that much.
There's not really that much that's going on recently.
I think it's more just, okay, new manga coming out, new serializations coming out, new anime that's getting adapted.
Oh, manga is ending.
Yeah, anime is gonna. Oh, this is good. This anime has
a premiere date. Oh, wait. There is one thing.
What is it?
Blue Period.
Oh yeah,
Blue Period has announced an October date of 2021. They announced a trailer. They showed a trailer. I think it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it.
So for those who don't remember, one of the manga series that Jason had been reading and was actually pushing the listeners to check out is Blue Period, which is based on what? It's based on like art.
It's based on art.
Yeah,
like art composition and about a high school kid trying to get into art university, and it is really good. It's just really good. I can't sing enough. It won a manga award.
What is it on, like 5 or 6 volumes now, right? Or more?
The third volume of the English translation is out, but I think that there are 5 to 6 volumes. Definitely enough to have one season.
Cool. Okay.
There is also another anime called My Senpai's Annoying that I mentioned that I read the manga for, and they announced an October release date for the anime 2021 as well. But no trailer.
All right, so this anime is going to be coming out in fall.
That is
right?
correct.
Fall 2021.
So then summer comes around, and then it becomes fall. Yep. So sorry, there is a minor news section, but yeah, that's it really.
Yeah, to be fair though, we've been catching up on stuff we've been watching this season. There's still some stuff we haven't started watching yet, but those are sequels, so I think like less pressing to get to them. Like we're talking about like Nomad, like Megalobox 2. We're talking
Moriarty.
We have not watched the second episode of To Your Eternity yet.
Yeah, but I know what's it about.
Yeah, you know what it's about because you've read ahead. I'm still in the dark. I'm hoping there's going to be some good, some happy feelings, happy thoughts, but
nope.
So far, it's been grim.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I watched some dark shit, but this is different. This is like in the feels dark, man. It hurts, but hey. Hopefully, with other shows we've been watching this season, we'll be able to bring our moods back up.
Actually, when we go on break and then we come back, I think that our main discussion topic will perk our mood back up. I think we should just leave it here. Yeah. I know what you're gonna say. Let's just take a break and just chill. Yeah. And refresh ourselves and then come back.
Yeah. With
a clear mind.
Maybe a refreshed perspective, maybe changed personalities.
Yes, change the type of perspective that we have been giving on certain things.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that's it. Oh my god, I feel so bad that we kind of just shat on. We didn't shat on everything.
Yeah, I think we just basically gave our thoughts, and as harsh or as brutal as it may have been, like this is really how we feel. We're not saying it's fucking awful and these people should reconsider doing other stuff. No, far from it. It's like we appreciate the effort you put into it. Unfortunately, I didn't enjoy it. There are other things I did enjoy of the show, of whatever I watched.
I did not enjoy a single moment of Koi Kimo.
That's different though. That one's like
The World Ends With You. At least I can be like, all right,
I can see where they did work. I can see how they tried, but
yeah, like,
right.
Koi Kimo is just,
They didn't even try to be less creepy.
dude, it's too sick to call this love. Then what do you call it? You call it, oh, gee, oh, I gotta go, bro.
Obsession,
Okay, just
stalking.
So we'll come back after the break, right? Well,
Yeah. Oh man, we really needed that break. Holy shit.
oh my god.
Things kind of went a little would you say overboard, or do you think like we
Look, I feel bad for overdoing it in a way, but I also don't feel bad. I'm just gonna enjoy the strawberry milkshake while we talk about our main discussion topic.
Hey man, the energy levels started high, so we needed it to be high, and now it drained a bit, so need a bit of a break, sweeten things up.
Yeah,
so we
the
can
strawberry milkshake is pretty sweet, pretty good.
Yeah, I got myself a black and white. I don't actually have any idea what a black and white milkshake is from Shake Shack.
Vanilla and chocolate.
Is it vanilla and chocolate, or is it
I
like
don't
white
know.
chocolate and dark chocolate?
Oreo? I don't know.
It could be like cookies and cream, but it doesn't taste like cookies and
I
cream.
don't know. Okay.
It just tastes like a lot of sugar.
So, everyone, welcome back. This is our main discussion topic, which is about Deres.
Now, what's a dere? What's a dere? What kind of language is that?
Deep-
It's a dere.
Oh my god.
What is-
what are you doing?
Well,
bro?
I mean, we had to explain to not just me but the listeners what
Right.
a
So-
dere is, right?
Dere is essentially an archetype, a character archetype. It's a description of a certain character that describes a certain subset of anime characters that appear in either anime or obviously manga, or even like any medium. We focus a lot on Japanese anime and manga, but of course this can pertain to Western media as well, and we will list examples of that as well.
Yeah, like whenever we talk about characters in shows, like we always associate certain traits to certain types of characters, right? There's like the vindictive one, the vengeful one, the angry one,
Right.
the sad one, blah blah blah. So whatever we talk about here in this episode, you will see parallels or variations of it in Western media as well.
Right. So dere is comes from the term dere dere in Japanese, which is an onomatopoeia meaning love struck or lovey dovey. So what that means is that dere types or dere character types are characters that express their affection in different ways or on different levels. And most of the dere types talk about how they react to becoming love struck or how they treat their love interest.
Yeah, doesn't necessarily mean that this character is in love or someone's in love with them. It's just their perspective on how to deal with the topic of love in general, right?
Yeah, but usually
Usually.
it's about a
There,
particular
there are going to be
person.
some characters that like are deemed a specific character trait, a specific personality type, but they don't necessarily have a love interest. It's just how they're described. You know?
Right. So in terms of the dere types, if you were to Google that, you would see a bunch of different, main types, subtypes, so on and so forth. We kind of made an executive decision to only have the 4 main types because these 4 types keep showing up time and time and time again, and also a lot of the subtypes stems from these 4 main types of deres.
Yeah, they're pretty much like the progenitors of their specific subtypes.
Yeah. So, deres are not gender exclusive, but it can pertain to both male and female or anything in between. It is just for, I would say, a lot of animes and mangas. They pertain to female characters, but I want to emphasize that is not exclusively just for females.
There are going to be male characters of the different dairy types as well.
So, the four deres that we will talk about in order of our appearance is tsundere, dandere, kudere, and yandere.
Saving the best for last.
Okay.
I mean, of course, we'll explain like why later.
All right. So
should we start off with the Cinderes then?
yeah, start with tsunderes.
So Cinderes are, would you say they're the most common type? Like in terms of like, maybe not common, but like when we talk about characters that have love interests or are in love with someone, like it's usually the most pervasive, the most seen archetype.
I would say when it comes to anime and manga in particular, you would hear a lot of tsunderes, or when tsunderes is basically in terms of, I mean, there are like Western counterparts, but tsunderes is very, very specific, and you hear it constantly in Japanese anime and manga.
Yeah. So what is a tsundere? So tsunderes are, as we mentioned, specific characters that like, play as a love interest who act a certain way to either their love interest or the characters that they're interested in. Usually it starts off as a little bit more hostile, a little more cold. And then, occasionally because of the fact that they have those feelings for that character, they start slipping up and showing a little bit of warmth, a little bit of security, a little bit of passion. And then they'll realize, oh, wait, what am I doing? Why am I being nice to this person? Oh, you baka, you aho, hentai, get away from me.
Basically, when you hear like the typical meme of, oh, I don't like you, senpai, baka.
I'm not even interested in it. I'm not interested in you anyway. Go away, hentai, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
that is a very tsundere characteristic. In fact, one of the defining characteristics, because you're acting kind of cold and mean towards that person, but actually you're trying to hide your feelings and affections towards that person.
Yeah, it's so like, I think like, the popularity for these kind of character types, it's it's seeing them, acting like they're in love, and then being shy and bringing it back. It's like, it's very cute to see characters in that kind of vulnerable love state, right?
So tsundere is a combination of tsun and dere, and we just mentioned dere is love struck or lovey dovey, and tsun basically is a word to describe someone who is very irritable or
kind of like aloof, not quite there.
Yeah, not quite there, or hard to approach, something like that. So tsunderes, how do I say this? They occur a lot in anime and manga, like a lot. I would say this is we start with of all the deres, we start with tsundere because it is the one that is by far the most well known, I would say.
I think anytime you watch like a romance, a harem, an ecchi, any of those kinds of shows, there's bound to be a tsundere.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? You might not have a one of the other types, but you will almost definitely have a tsundere. They may not be, they may be the main character's interest. They may not be, but they're going to be somewhere in the periphery, right?
Right. It is also, they tend to do things that are counterproductive to their actual emotional investment into the love interest.
Right? Like, say for example, like their love interest is like, hey, the cherry blossoms are on show. Do you want to go and see it? And
no, I don't even want to go. Why? I don't want to go, asshole, or something like that.
But deep down inside, you're like, why did I say that? I really wanted to go, but I just said something that like makes it mean like maybe they don't like me anymore. Oh, why did I do that? Why did I do that? So
or just be like, oh, I mean, I really want to go, but I gotta put on this front that makes this person not think that I like them because it's embarrassing or whatever.
Yeah, don't show weakness, right? Don't be the one who like succumbs to the other person's interest.
Not necessarily, but yes, also that too as well. I mean, as you said, it's just more like, sometimes it is unintentional, as in, this is my instinct, this is my habit, but what am I doing? Why do I say that? This person clearly likes me and wants me to go to watch a cherry blossoms, right? Like, yeah, man, why not?
Yeah, why can't I express the way I feel about them so openly, blah, blah, blah. So, like, within tsunderes, there is, like, I think with all different Dere types, there is, like, subsets.
Yeah.
So there will be, like, for instance, like, sun ahos. Aho, which literally means, like, dumb, idiot. And then, like, grumpy idiot. So it's, like, they don't necessarily have, like, the love type. They're just, towards certain interests, just grumpy in general.
Mm-hmm.
There's also like this one's not like it's the baka dere, which is like the dumb, like they're lovey dovey, but they're also stupid. So
Like an airhead.
yeah, right. So some tsunderes can be a little airheadish, because they, like you said, right, they do certain actions that don't necessarily correlate with how they really feel. Baka dere is just a little bit of a step further in that they're just plain airheads.
So
But generally, like tsunderes, they start cold, they warm up. Well, they don't start cold. They're just like very standoffish.
yes, exactly.
With their love interest.
Or have conflicting feelings about the way they act versus the way they actually feel.
Yep.
So, as we said, in a lot of anime and manga, tsunderes are a very common character archetype. And here are some of the examples that we either think that will give you a reference point, or we feel like are good examples of tsundere. So what do you have, Will? Oh, wait, before we get into examples, what is the appeal of a tsundere, you feel?
I think sometimes people just like to see like a girl, like, I don't know. Would you say they play hard to get? They stand their ground. It's like they try and put up this emotional front, this barrier, and like they just to show that it's like you can't like wear me down like that. You got to prove to me that it's like that like you're worthy of my time, blah blah blah. But deep down, it's like they've already committed themselves to actually liking you already. It's more just like you slowly breaking down that shield. It's the effort that goes through to like really warming someone up to be more natural with you rather than standoffish. And then, you know, when they end up saying, yes, I actually really do like you, baka, you idiot.
I feel like the appeal of a tsundere is, borrowing another Japanese term, it is moe.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely moe. And
Mhm.
moe is actually quite a complex term to describe, but it is about feelings of cuteness.
I mean, especially when like the girls act out, right? When the tsunderes act out, there's always like, baka, go away, and they always like they do like really cutesy kawaii animations. So anytime like they act out in that tsundere faction, when they are acting grumpy or mad or cold,
Oh, you act, yeah, that's adorable. You know, that kind of
yeah,
thing.
but they also animate it in a certain way, like the animations, the sound effects, the way they talk, it becomes like cute. So it helps to perpetuate the whole moe thing with tsunderes.
It's also important to note that tsunderes are not necessarily all violent.
Yes,
They are standoffish, and they might even, you know, insult the love interest, but they don't.
They might just be offensive with the words,
Right, but they are not outwardly, violent. So, Will, we have individually compiled a list of examples from each of the Dere types.
Mhm.
I think I have concealed mine from yours and yours from mine. So, what are your...
I mean, like mine's are pretty out in the open, man. They're not necessarily going to be concealed. I'm not like,
No.
I'm not afraid to let people know like what I like and what I don't like.
I mean, we are
I
going
mean,
on.
like, I think like
we're about to.
one of my favorites like tsunderes is a couple themselves, which is the Steinsgate couple,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Like you have Rintaro, the crazy mad, son of a bitch, mad scientist, and then you also have Makise Kurisu, right? Both of them are tsundere as fuck, but at the same time, it's like they realize who they are, they realize what they do, and then they realize how they feel about each other. They just are constantly at odds and butting heads. But it's funny to see because they're both literally the same thing, both stubborn but in love with each other, and it's just comedic to watch them go through their journey of love and companionship and understanding.
So for me, I have certain examples that I feel are very defining in terms of when you think tsunderes, you think of these people as prime classical examples. I'm obviously talking about Asuka from
Classic.
Evangelion, the redhead, literally baka all the damn time, kind of really likes the main character, Shinji, I think.
More often than not, yeah. Like we would just go on as well. When we talk about tsunderes, usually we associate the color red.
Yes,
tsunderes,
that's
right?
correct.
Like for example, another tsundere that we most people know of as well, Rin Tosaka.
Yep, that's one of my other picks.
Yeah, from the Fate Stay Night series.
Mhm.
She wears red. She
Yes.
doesn't have red hair, but she has red. She wears a lot of times she's
Red
in
apparel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Asuka, redhead, right?
Wears the red suit, the iconic red suit.
Yep. I think Cutie Sue also has like a red tie. Both of them wear some sort of red. The Sasuke couple.
Yep.
So
I think another good example that not necessarily is all about red is the Toradora series and Taiga, which is the little petite girl. So she is definitely tsundere.
Yep.
But my final choice of tsunderes, which is not exactly a tsundere, but like has tsundere qualities, is Mai from Rascals Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. I think she is an example of a tsundere that is very intelligent, very quick with her words, very knows what she wants, but also in a way is not ready to admit it always all the time. And it's just really interesting to see that there's different facets of a tsundere, not just your typical like, oh, I like you, but I can't really tell you, so I'm just gonna, stomp my feet and throw a huff and peace out.
Yeah, just to be clear though, whilst we're talking about these specific character types, we don't necessarily mean that these characters only exert like these specific traits. We're not saying that characters can only be tsunderes, can only be kuderes. They will, one way or another, display character traits that fall into other Dere types as well.
And not only that, you may say that this is a certain Dere type, but then someone else would say, no, this is that Dere type, and then hilarity ensues because both parties are firmly believing in what they feel, and so there's a difference of opinion. That's why there are so many subtypes out there.
Yep.
To accommodate these hybrids. So I think that is a tsundere, right?
I mean, for example, there's a hybrid, right, which is the Sun Kudere, which could be someone that is both a tsundere and a kudere. It just depends on what level they act on either trait. That's basically it.
Right. All right. Then are we done with tsunderes?
Yeah. Like for those who maybe like are like not as into anime and manga, or maybe aren't familiar with the characters we talked about, if we wanted to sort of give it like a Western counterpart, certain characters, like for example, if you've watched the Futurama series, one of the main characters, Tarangalila, she is a tsundere. Maybe if you watched Avatar, Zuko is a tsundere. There's also the Powerpuff Girls, Buttercup is a tsundere.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the characters, again, like we've mentioned earlier, they don't just pertain to Japanese media or anime and manga. They can also be in comics, like Western comics. It could be in cartoons, movies, blah, blah, blah.
It is just that the tsundere archetype is used heavily in a lot of anime and manga, so it becomes a defining characteristics of the subculture of anime and manga. That's about it, really. Or all the other types, really.
Yeah, pretty much. Shall we move on to the next Dere type?
Yeah, let's go.
Right,
Well,
I think this is one of your favorites, right? It's not your
in fact,
favorite.
no, I wouldn't say it's even one of my favorites, but it's definitely one of the ones that I can get behind,
Right.
which is Dandere.
Okay, so Dandere is, I think I'll leave it to you to explain what a Dandere is.
Essentially, Dandere is about a certain character who is normally very quiet and silent to the point where they're very emotionless. And it's like they're a statue in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get to know them, they become extremely talkative, extremely sweet, and extremely cute. Or when they are alone with their love interest, they act that way. So they appear, or sometimes they even have, I guess, social anxiety and a lack of social skills. But when it comes to their love interest, all that kind of insecurity and inability to socialize goes out the window. And so the dan part in dandere comes from the Japanese word danmari, which means silent, and obviously the dere comes from dere dere. The word danmari comes from the word damaru, which means to stay quiet. So it literally is like the quiet librarian or the quiet student that reads books in the library at lunch breaks or at after school, keeps to themselves. But when you get to know them, they're actually very sweet. They're actually very conscientious of people, or they are very quiet and all the students just all their classmates just don't interact with them. But on their way home, he or she sees like a kitten and like like treats it well, things like that. That is very Dandere defining characteristic. So Danderes are quite rare in Japan when it comes in Japanese anime and manga, despite being extremely common, I would say, in Western media. The whole quiet nerdy girl who ends up actually not being a quiet nerdy girl, but actually a really beautiful, sweet person.
And they're quite warm, but like it takes like a very long time and like a lot of effort to crack them open. Right? It's not like a tsundere. Tsundere is like they'll be more expressive. It takes a while to rev up the motor and actually get a dandere to be expressive.
Yeah, exactly. And just because they are quiet and just because they're quiet and not social conscious, does not mean that their feelings are subsided or subdued. No. Usually it's the opposite. Their feelings towards their love interest is so overwhelming that they feel like that's enough. They feel like that's all they need, really. And some examples that I would say of danderes that are extremely good is, for example, Horimiya, that just ended. There is Miyamura Izumi, or Izumi Miyamura, who is the Miya part of Horimiya. He's a very, in the anime and in the manga, very quiet, keeps to themselves. But actually, when you get to know him, as Hori does, becomes this person of very interesting personality, very caring, very willing to put themselves out there to help their loved ones and their friends. I also think another well-known dandere that I personally like a lot is from A Silent Voice, Koe no Kotachi. And Shoko Nishimiya is so adorable. My God. But obviously her being deaf has kind of a lack of capability to interact with a lot of hearing people. So because of that, her social skills, therefore, are less adequate compared to, the average hearing person. But then you see her act behind the scenes or act with certain people that know of her condition or know of the fact that she's actually quite a nice, engaging, energetic person. I feel like the most prominent example of danderes, though, the most prominent, is probably Hinata from Naruto.
Yep. I'd say, yeah, Hinata is, as soon as you think dandere is, usually she'd be the first Google search.
Exactly. It is without a doubt that she is the dandere, basically. Yeah.
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 It's just, the pointing of
oh yeah, oh my God, that is
touching.
the finger pointing.
Naruto-kun.
And like hiding behind a box or hiding.
Anytime, like, if you're watching the anime, it pans to her. She's always like, I wonder what Naruto's thinking about right now. I wonder if he's thinking about me. But why would he think about me? I'm not special. It was like, so a lot of like internal dialogue, and then like slowly realizing that she likes him, and that's very clear that she likes him. But she never brings it up to herself to actually voice out like her feelings to Naruto. Hence, that asocial aspect of Hinata and pertaining to the dandere archetype.
Now, last of my 4 picks for dandere does not actually have an anime, but has a manga that is very well known and actually should have an anime adaptation. It is Komi Shoko from Komi Can't Communicate.
I've been meaning to read that,
because literally Komi Can't Communicate is a manga about Komi Shoko, who has a communication disorder, but actually she wants to go out and make friends. She's actually a very caring person. She actually wants to do so many things, but she has that social anxiety that I feel like, a lot of people can sometimes even relate to. But her classmates the people that actually know her very well see her as someone who is extremely adorable and cute. So that, I think, also is a very, very good example of a Dandere.
Yeah,
What about you, Will?
I don't have as many. I only have two. I only have two dandares that I really do like. But I think one of them you definitely know.
Mm-hmm.
Because we watched the show not that long ago. You remember Keijo?
Oh, God.
There's a very specific dandere. I think you know who I'm talking about. Kazane Aoba. She's definitely a dandere. In a show that's very expressive, right? Expressive in some manner. I won't go into that much detail. The other one is Kiryu Moeka, who is from Steins Gate. Again, I think if you haven't heard me throughout this whole podcast, I really fucking like Steins Gate. Therefore, I'm going to have Steins Gate characters I like that are tsunderes. I'm going to have Steins Gate characters that I like that are dandares. Kiryu Moeka is one of them, and she's fucking fantastic. I like her in both Steins Gate and Steins Gate Zero. Watch the show. She's great. Doesn't talk much at all. She literally just communicates through texting people.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of encapsulates the whole asocial, like, lack of social skills,
Like
not
even like silly like mumblings. Like, literally just like types a message and shows the phone to somebody. That's her way of communicating.
Oh,
to people.
but she's not deaf or mute, right?
No, she just feels uncomfortable talking to people,
Right.
but comfortable enough to display the words she wants to say to someone.
So that is dandere. I think while danderes in general are the least interesting, shall we say? Oh, no, close to being less interesting.
There's not as much. It's like tsunderes, like you watch them, it's like it's sometimes funny to see them like act out or occasionally punch their love interest. It's funny to see the maybe like the misinterpretations, miscommunications, and the escapades of getting into a relationship with a tsundere. Whereas dandares, like because of the fact that they're calm, they don't really exert much of a presence in the show. You know,
in fact, that's it. They don't exert presence. That's the whole point, right?
That's why it's like it might come off as like, oh, they're a boring archetype.
Oh, and some people don't like them because they're just like, well, at least like the other, like tsunderes, like there is some sort of emotional response, whereas this one, it's not. You know, there's nothing there, man. You know.
Yeah, but I think like when the dandares start opening up, they can be interesting. Some dandares are fucking awesome.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. So then comes into my favorite Dere type.
This is yours.
The kudere.
The kudere.
The kudere.
So what is a ku? What's a kudere?
Kudere. So kudere is a love interest stock love interest or archetype who is calm and collected on the outside and never panics. Like chill, stone cold chill. They show little emotion, but in extreme cases are almost like emotionless, but they're hiding their true feelings deep down. Essentially, it's like the cold, I think the way that I would describe it is like, think of the cold and stoic ice queen or ice king, but then they have a warm inner shell and an inner heart. That's essentially how you would describe, or I would describe, a kudere. And it's funny because obviously ku sounds like the English word for cool, which essentially is that.
Yeah.
Someone who's cool, calm, and collected is a kudere.
Yeah.
When it comes to like love interests and stuff. So, this is how it's gonna go, right? Okay. I love kuderes.
Okay.
Like massively.
Yeah.
I
knew that.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't.
Well, now I mean it's on the record now.
Yeah, it's on the record now. I think also in real life, I like kuderes as well.
So we will get into that discussion maybe a
no.
little bit later on. But like there are of course like areas that I do agree with you on. In that, as much as tsunderes are entertaining as fuck to watch on TV, they would be terrible to date.
Yeah.
Whereas dandares and kuderes, okay, more specifically to dandares,
yes,
they're not exactly all that exciting to watch on show. But
yeah,
you would much rather date a dandere than a fucking tsundere, right?
Yeah.
Like I would much rather try and like warm up to a girl and maybe see if she wants to, you know, share more about her personal life, as opposed to a girl who will punch me in the face if I say something wrong.
And then regret it
Yeah, and then it'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry for acting out. It'd be like, if you act out, you could just act out. You don't have to punch me, right? You don't have to call me an idiot. Baga, hentai, aho, you know?
So when we were compiling the list of Deres, I wrote down the ones that I like or I think are good examples. And I narrowed it down to 4 of 4, so 16. But when I started for kuderes, I had 22 examples. That is just unhealthy, bro. That's just mad unhealthy. So I cut it down to 4.
I had to talk to you about this too.
Yeah, you were like, dude, we can't do this. You can't do this. So I cut it down to 4, and here are some of my favorite examples. I think the one that everyone knows is Riza Hawkeye from Full Metal Alchemist.
Yep.
Very calm, cool, collected, but cares about a Mustang a lot, to the point where they're basically together. They should be together.
That's the ship you want, right?
That's the ship I want. I think a lot of people want that ship.
If you don't want that ship and you want something else from the FMA Brotherhood ship, just drop in messages. Give us a shout
Yeah,
out.
sure. But Riza
But you're also crazy for not wanting Mustang and fucking Hawkeye to be together.
But Riza Hawkeye is definitely a kudere.
Mm-hmm.
I think another kudere that a lot of people would instantly know is Mikasa from Attack on Titan. Definitely a kudere.
Yeah.
Protects the shit out of Eren. Is
To some extent protects Armin, but like,
yeah, I mean, yeah,
but it's obviously Eren. Eren's number one.
a badass as fuck, and just calm and collected all the time. And even when she's not, she still has a cool head on her shoulders.
Like, you rarely ever see them like panic, get frantic, like lose their cool.
Well, except when Eren gets in trouble or something.
That's different though. At that point, she's no longer. I mean, like if Eren. Oh, let's not go in there.
Yeah, let's not get in there. I know.
Spoiler,
I'm like
spoiler,
looking
spoiler,
at you.
spoiler.
Don't. So, one of my other most favorite kuderes of all time is a Netflix show.
Okay, now you say Netflix show. Of course, it's fucking Violet Evergarden from Violet Evergarden.
Yes, it is.
Right? Who the fuck else would it be?
It's fucking awesome. She's fucking awesome. Violet's fucking awesome.
Yeah. I think like the thing with like the kuderes that you've talked about, like so far, these are the ones that really know how to take care of themselves in a way where it's like they keep themselves calm, collected, stoic, right? They're not going to let things compromise their emotions, but when they do get compromised,
So my last pick, can you figure out what it is?
no, I mean you had like 20 something, right? So
It's a series of movies.
oh my god. Okay, this was hard for you too. I
Yeah,
knew
it was super
there were
hard.
people that you were like, oh, who do I cut off from this list?
Who do I cut from this list?
Okay, it's Shiki.
Yes, Shiki Ryogi from like
Is it Ryuji?
Ryugi
It's
from
fucking-
Garden of
it's-
Sinners.
It's motherfucking Shiki. Okay,
From Garden of Sinners.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie series.
I noticed a trend with the kuderes you have is that your kuderes are able to fucking kill you if they wanted to.
You mean kill
People
people
who
who don't like the love interest, right?
They're literally one step away from being a yandere.
Yo, no, don't come on, man. So okay, I have a type. Okay, I get it. I get it. Like I fully get it.
They're basically yanderes that no longer have a revenge mission. That's
Unless
basically-
if the revenge is like for
to rescue someone back.
yeah, sure, yeah.
Okay, fine. Yeah,
Like the kosher yandere.
yeah,
So
yandere light.
yandere,
Not even light. They're just like they're not impulsive at all.
yeah. So now that we have finished talking about kuderes,
Wait a minute. You didn't even ask me who my favorite kuderes are.
okay, yeah. What's your
You
favorite
just assume that I
kudere?
don't like. I mean, okay, fine. Like in terms of like kuderes, like it's not exactly a type that I. Actually, no. I do like kuderes, maybe just not on the same level as you.
Yeah,
But I mean, there are certain characters that I like. I mean, for example, like I was just talking about My Little Monster.
mm-hmm.
The main character is a kudere.
Mhm.
Fucking love her. I do feel like I need to get around to reading the manga though, if I want to explore more about her. It's Mizutani, in case nobody knew what the hell I was saying.
Okay.
But I also do agree that Riza Hawkeye, I like her too. I also liked Violet Evergarden.
Mm-hmm.
Other kuderes I do like.
Toka.
Okay, maybe.
Toka from Tokyo Ghoul. She didn't make my cut.
But how far off was she from the cut? Like, was she like at least in like the last 16, last 8? Or was it a very easy decision for you to be like, I'm sorry, Toka, you're out?
Dude, they were all not easy decisions, okay?
You just wanted to collect them all.
Not collect them all, but
You didn't want to leave anyone out.
I didn't leave anyone out. Look, I cut off Todoroki from My Hero Academia, okay?
Okay.
Okay, first off, Todoroki...
Oh, by the way, we completely forgot about Bakugo being one of the best like tsunderes as well.
Oh, yeah, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God.
Okay, good thing we brought that back.
Okay, but
Todoroki, okay, I can see that one. That was a
not
good choice.
only is he a kudere, but he has ice, dude. He has ice powers. He is kudere as fuck.
He's a complex character, man.
No,
He's both fire and ice.
Dude, I legitimately think Todoroki's a very good character, and
Yeah.
he's also a 100% definitive kudere. No, Diana Cavendish from
Oh, yeah.
Little Witch Academia,
That's another one.
very kudere. So yeah, I mean, yeah. Well,
Sorry, I think like actually like when I told you like yeah you have to cut this shit. There's way too many people, and then you asked me, so who do I cut from here? Do I cut Hawkeye or do I cut Shiki? And I'm like, oh, I see why this is hard for you.
yeah,
It's not easy. It's like
I had to cut Toka, man.
I probably would have. I mean, like, would you really pick Toka above Riza Hawkeye?
No, because
Above Shiki?
no, because it didn't clearly.
I mean, they made your final 4.
I mean, when you look at these 4 people, they're all like badass women that can like wreck shit, but also are very caring, but have cold and collected personalities. It's almost like these are.
Would you consider Megumi from Jujutsu Kaisen a kudere?
No.
Because he's just reserved, right? He's just
Yeah.
shy, not shy. He's just quiet and reserved.
Because it's not. She doesn't like anybody.
He is. I mean, he.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's the thing, though.
Which is hilarious because Megumi is a girl's name, kind of.
But the thing is, though, right? It's like, as I've mentioned, like they don't necessarily need to have a love interest. It's only when it comes to exerting the emotions that are connected to love.
Okay.
Right.
So then, in that case, then yes, I would say Megumi is 100% a
like
kudere.
if there was going to be a character that he wasn't loving,
For
he would exert.
Okay, so like maybe not sorry to cut you off. Not necessarily a romantic love interest, but with his older sister.
Yeah.
Or younger sister?
Yeah. Like,
His sister.
Basically, a way that he shows, again, love doesn't necessarily need to be like love for like affectionate love. It could be compassionate. It could just be like familial love. It doesn't have to be like of a certain
Romantic
type.
love, yeah. So that is the kuderes.
Now we go on to what I personally like the most.
God, here we go. So of course the fluffy guy, the fluffy sama likes.
Actually, before that,
yeah.
I should probably tell you that my number one kudere is Rui Tachibana from Domestic Girlfriend.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that coming from a mile away.
Yeah, but you didn't give me a chance to say it. You literally just said, "Hey, we're gonna move on to yanderes." Not even gave me the fucking like opportunity to talk about who my favorite kudere. I like kuderes. I could like kuderes too, but I like yanderes more.
So well, what's a yandere?
Yanderes are my favorite archetype to watch when it comes to anime and manga, because them shits are crazy. Like tsunderes.
Yeah.
So we talked about tsunderes and how it's like the main thing, the main shtick with them is that they act out whenever they're confronted with like affection, with love, or just any notice from their senpai. Literally is it when the senpai notices them, they punch them. Or like they act out, call them baga. That's literally like the way that a tsundere would conduct themselves around their love interest. Yanderes, on the other hand, they kind of take that to a whole different level. In that, you know, they will show you love and care. They will show you affection until someone comes and tests your level of affection, tests your level of love and admiration for that said person. And if anybody was to ever come between you and your loved one, you would slowly your social and mental well being would slowly debilitate to the point where it becomes like you must protect the sanctity of the relationship that you have with your loved interest. You must be able to protect them from outer influences because those people are bad for your love influence. Only you're good enough for them, and anybody else is just detracted like the amount of love that you can get from them. You must keep them for yourself. It's no surprise that when it comes to the main four we've talked about today, right? Tsunderes, Danderes, Kuderes, and Yanderes. Yandere is the main Dere type that has the most variations and subtypes.
And by most, we mean by a mile.
Like, Tsunderes have like 7 or 8.
Yep.
Right? Kuderes, there's
3.
a few, right? 3. But it's like 3 of like, there's like a Kudere type 1, Kudere type 2, Kudere type 3. So
Kind of,
but
yeah.
they're not like that far apart from each other.
No.
Yanderes have like
20.
21 or 22,
Yeah.
right?
There's even a chart. If you Google Yandere alignment chart or Yandere chart.
It's like the safe to danger chart. We're just like, okay,
God.
this Yandere is going to be relatively harmless. Of course, still approach with caution, but you should be fine to the point where it's like, please seek medical attention. Please call authorities right now. Your life is in danger. Get the fuck away from this person.
Or it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Or it's like there's that point on the axes where it's like, such person does not exist. This must be a goddess.
Question mark.
This person must be a goddess. Like you have found you found a unicorn. You found a unicorn. So the reason why I like Yanderes is because of the fact that you get to see a wide spectrum of a said character. They could be cool, calm, collected, lovey-dovey on one side, but then completely irrationally destructive, vengeful, psychotic. Like they get to the point where they not only would hunt down and hurt those that affect their love, their loved ones, their love interest, but they may even go so far as to kill, as to maim, as to just utterly destroy, even ones that are close to the loved one.
So Yandere, we've said it, what the Dere means.
Yeah.
But the Yan part basically means Yanderu, which means to be sick mentally. It can also mean to be sick in general, but I think it means to be sick mentally.
Generally, like with this specific instance, it's from the mental as opposed to the physical aspect.
Except the physical part is the physical obsession.
Yeah.
And then the mental aspect is the obsession. But then the physical aspect is what drives the yanderes to take action, which typically, is murderous, psychopathic violence.
Yeah.
When we say, yo, this girl or this guy is psycho for this person, or in both Western and, Japanese context, yeah, they're a yandere.
Yeah. It means, this person's trouble. How much trouble? Well, there's, of course, we could link the chart if we want, or just Google Yandere chart.
Just Google Yandere chart. The chart is legit.
Yeah, because all the subtypes, like, they literally grow from, like, harmless to get the fuck away from there.
So how about I talk about my 4 picks, and then we'll go to your 4 picks, because I'm interested to hear what you have to say.
Sure, go for it.
So I think that in terms of yanderes, there is one that I will definitely say is quintessentially the yandere. Just like how Hinata is the dandere, from Future Diary, is the definitive yandere.
That was one of my picks, yeah?
Yeah, but it's not one of my picks. I'm just saying that for a benchmark.
Okay.
Rize from Tokyo Ghoul is definitely a yandere that I like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sato from Happy Sugar Life is also very yandere.
Yep.
No, not very. She is a yandere. Then comes the 2 weird picks that are also definitely 100% yandere. Remember a while ago, Will, I watched an anime series called Love Tyrant? Do you remember?
Yes.
In there features a red-headed yandere called Akane. That she uses a gi,
okay,
like the blade,
yeah,
right? And she is super yandere, like like super hardcore yandere to the point of comedic.
Okay.
And then one of my most favorite yanderes of all time is Albedo from Overlord.
Yes, you mentioned this specific character. You also talked to me about how I need to watch Overlord. Not need to, but I should.
You should.
Yeah.
Guilty pleasure, but 100% good.
I mean, the anime is on Netflix, so I really have no reason to not check it out.
Albedo is just... Yeah, it's good. She's good.
Yeah, I think like some of the ones you already mentioned on there, like, okay, they would probably make my list too. Like Jahzzar for sure would be on there. I haven't watched Sato yet, but I'll probably get around to
You
watching
mean
it.
Happy Sugar Life?
Yeah, I haven't watched
Yeah.
anything about, so I need to. I can't really say much about Sato. But there are some characters that I would have on my list.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, like Tsukumiya or Gourmet from Tokyo Ghoul.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my top yanderes. I'm not sure if you ever checked out Deadman Wonderland.
Nope.
But Takami Minatsuki, she's also. I mean, she takes pleasure in people like she's the the subtype. She's the Sado Dere, in which she
Sadistic.
Yeah, she takes pleasure from pain, especially pain not just in like the ones around her loved ones, but sometimes even her loved ones too. Remember, just because like a yandere wants to protect their loved one from others doesn't mean that they won't go just a step too far and end up hurting their loved one too.
As long as they're not dead. Yeah? Or maybe sometimes even if they're dead.
I think Yuno Gasai might have something to talk to you about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah. Now, the one that I actually wanted to highlight, and I don't think that. Well, actually, there was also Levy from Black Lagoon. There's Rolo from Code Geass, but the one that I wanted to bring up, and it's very. I don't really want to give her a spotlight because she is a very controversial character. You've watched Code Geass, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you remember a green-haired girl named Nina Einstein? The girl who is extremely xenophobic, even racist to Japanese people, to the point where like she saw her loved one, which was like the main character in the show, get murdered on stage. Again, I'm just gonna say spoilers. It's already been long enough. You should watch
Is
the shit
that the
already.
C2?
No, C2 is the other girl. C2 is kudere as fuck.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Likes pizza.
yeah, but definitely not.
She's
like,
nice. I
she's
like
nice. But no,
her. No, I don't remember.
No, so basically,
It's been
like,
so long, man.
she has such a strong obsession for this woman, for the main, basically, the main female in the beginning part of the series. That when she finds out that she's been murdered, she's basically spends almost like a decade, basically developing nuclear weapons just to eradicate the enemy, which is in this show the Japanese people, the ones who are trying to assimilate into just European empire, because of the fact that she hates Asians. If that's not yandere as fuck, I don't know. Where it's not just wiping out a few people who hurt her loved one, but wiping out an entire race of people. Super controversial. Most people don't like this. I fucking hate this character, but you cannot deny that that's a massive fucking yandere move.
Yeah.
You probably didn't figure that was going to be my pick, huh?
No.
Yeah, there you go. Yes.
All right.
My yanderes.
So, now that we have done all the 4 Dere types, I feel that we will do 2 things. The last thing is talk about Dere Dere, which we have said is love struck or lovey-dovey.
Yeah.
And that is what we have seen to be the 5th type, but we don't consider it that because...
Or maybe it is. It's just we don't want to focus on it.
Because Dere Deres is literally, they're just lovey-dovey, energetic, love-struck.
And they won't stray from the path.
They won't stray from the path. They're bubbly. There's nothing inherently quote unquote different from them.
The whole point of their existence within a show as a Dere Dere is to love the MC or their love interest.
And always support them 100%. So I think Dere Deres in real life will be great.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of like interesting character analysis and dissection of
like you probably
fictional.
Think, you probably think it's like, are there any Deres that come in mind to you? Because like for me, like one of them would be Mayuri from like Steins Gate. She's Dere as fuck. She's always happy, cheerful, no matter what. Always finds ways to cheer up the MC. But like in real life, that would be like the kind of character you would like the most. But at the same time, like what else can you really say other than she's happy-go-lucky and
Yeah.
That's it.
Right. So now that that's out of the way, let's talk about the second thing, which is I looked at all the different subtypes, and I have picked 3 subtypes
There's so many
that I really like.
Yep.
What about you, Will?
I've got 3 as well.
Okay, so you go 1, I go 1, and so on and so forth, yeah?
Okay. One of them I already talked about,
Mm-hmm.
the Bakadere.
Right.
I mean, just like how I like tsunderes. I like it when, especially with an anime, that, sometimes people do dumb shit, right? One of the main characters in fucking My Little Monster, he is the opposites to Mitsutani. Haru, which is the male MC, he's a Bakadere,
Right.
right?
He's an idiot.
He likes to show his love. He's like, I love you. Okay, cool. Great. No, I really love you. I think, like, I want to be inside you. It's like, wait, what? And everyone's, like, just shocked. It's like, why did you say that? Where are you? It's like, goes back to his textbook. It's like, no, he goes back to his romantic novel. It's like, huh, that didn't work. And he's like, that's literally it. He tries to show, like, romantic cues, but he's learning it. He doesn't have a very good social cues. Or it's like, oh, it's physical education time, right? Yeah, okay. And he just strips naked in front of her. And the whole school's like, what the fuck are you doing? That's like, it's when you see, like, the tsundere, okay, they do very aggressive shit. But when you see the Bakadere, it's like, they're just acting on instinct. No filter whatsoever. And in real life, that'll get you into a lot of trouble. But in anime, it's funny to watch. Mm-hmm. So I'm down with it.
So my first favorite Dere subtype is also a subtype of the tsunderes. It's called Gundere, which is hilarious because it's basically a tsundere but with the gun.
Literally, like the gun, they say it's like, oh, sun means sun, dan means damari. No. Gun literally just means gun.
It's like when I saw that, I was just like, there's even no ifs, ands, or buts, no complex analysis, entomology, right?
Yeah.
It's just like Dere plus a gun is a Gundere. And then Nichijou, right?
Yeah. Nichijou.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about.
There's a high school girl who is a Gundere, and she is a Gundere. She's a tsundere, but when she tries to show affection or tries to run away,
it's
in embarrassment.
Fuck, yeah.
She grabs a gun or bazooka or missile launcher and shoots it at those people or the love interest. I think that's hilarious.
It's funny as shit to watch.
So yeah, that's Gundere.
Yeah. The next one that I have, I think it's a bit of a guilty pleasure because I like watching it, but I would never want to date this person.
Dude, I would never date almost most of these things.
Do you remember
most of these types? Sorry.
Do you know what a do you know what kitikudere is?
What the fuck is that?
Kitikudere.
Wait, what subtype of?
They're not necessarily a subtype. They're a mixture of different things.
Okay.
Because I mean, remember, there's the kudere part in there, but they're kitikudere. So kitiku means brute or savage.
Yeah.
And dere means lovey-dovey. So it's like the in-between of a yandere and a tsundere.
Wait, so they just talk down and insult the shit out of their love interest?
They bully you.
Dude, that's terrible.
It's like not even like there's another subtype which is the hiyakasudere, which is basically they tease you. They flirt with you, and then they run away, and they come back and tease you again, and they come back.
Wait, so what you're trying to tell me, Will, is that there is an anime airing this season called Nagatoro-san.
Yeah.
That you should watch then, right?
That's, well, I might, actually. I might.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Sure.
But, like, because the one that I thought that was, like, perfect for the Kitikudere subtype was Revi from Black Lagoon. Because she does not necessarily have a love interest, but she does care about a certain character, the main MC of the show. but her way of showing affection is literally talking down to him and like literally at some points even kicking his ass, even to the point where like he's on the brink of death. But it's like she unlike yandere's, like they don't necessarily like they're not as calculating. They don't necessarily like commit violence just for the sake of violence. There is a little bit of like compassion in them, right? They and to be fair, it's like yes, Revi does kill a lot of people, but that's because she's a fucking pirate and she's going to be hurting people along the way. But she would never necessarily hurt anybody around her love interest because that's just not. It just that doesn't have it in her, right? But they are also a step above a tsundere in which they will cuss you out. They won't just be like, baga, aho. They'll literally call you a fucking moron.
Okay. All right.
Right?
Okay.
Again, love to watch it in anime, would hate to be on the receiving end of a fucking tsundere.
So, I love kuderes in terms of Dere types. And they are cold, but they actually have feelings for a love interest. But what happens when you don't have that love interest to start with and then develop that love and then, you go on from there? There's a subtype of kuderes called kudere, but it is pronounced, it's spelled Coodere as opposed to Kuudere, which is essentially differentiating kuderes having feelings of love for the love interest all along versus kuderes, who the COO version, who develops that love, acknowledges those feelings and then moves on from there. So they end in the same they have the same destination, but they start off in different realms, literally on opposite ends. That is my second favorite type, because not only because I feel like, of course, there is a type that's like that, but I just find it hilarious that within the kudere, there is the kudere. So there's like two kuderes, and they're kind of the same thing, but not really. I just kind of dig it.
I mean, hey, like, what's better than kudere? How about two types of kudere? When literally they sound the same, are not that different, but hey, kudere is not a kudere, but a kudere is a kudere.
Yeah, I know, right? So what is your last pick, bro?
Oh man, it was hard. There was two actually, but I think I'll settle on one.
Yeah.
I'll settle on one because this one is there are certain characters that I really like from this subtype, and it's Dere. What's Dere? Dere is a character that's very sweet, cute, not suspecting on the outside, but deep down inside they're fucked up.
Yeah.
Right? So they think and they say a lot of really fucked up shit, and they will do it, but not to you, not to the ones around you. It's more like there's just something about them that it's like, oh, I wouldn't imagine them to be, weird or crazy or fucked up. But then you see them in action, and they are the most twisted, disturbed human beings, or even not humans, just people in general. The main one that I wanted to highlight was Suzuya from Tokyo Ghoul.
Mm-hmm.
The little kid with the 13 stitched to his head. Of course,
bro.
Right? That would be, again, not... They're different from a yandere. Very different, because they have a lot of twisted, fucked up thoughts, but don't act on them. So they're not going to be like, I'm going to kill your family, and then proceed to do so. They will say it because you know full well they're capable of, but they're not going to do it. Right? They're yanderes, but with restraint.
This doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
But that's why I like it.
Yeah, that's why I like it. It's just like this archetype should not exist, because Doro actually means like confused, strange, muddled. So it's a confused, muddy. It's like you're sending signals, which is like, I'm not quite sure how to think about it, but I guess I'm better off being on your good side.
So, my last favorite Dere subtype has only one candidate. There is no other documented candidate for this Dere type.
Can I guess what it is?
Of course you can.
It's essentially Hara Dere, right?
Yes.
Yes.
There is a Dere type called Tsundra, which is a combination
yeah,
of
it's
tundra,
Sundra, yeah, Sundra, which is Tundra.
RA. So it is tundra and tsun, as in tsundere, the first dere type that we talked about, and obviously dere. So tundra.
Yeah.
And the reason why that this term exists, because literally in the first episode of Bakemonogatari, Senjugahara, Hitagi Senjugahara, who is the main love interest for Araragi, the main male character, Senjugahara says someone like her is considered a tsundere. And then Araragi says, no, 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 no. You're not a tsundere. You're called a tsundora or tundra. And the term is born. I love Senjugahara as a character immensely. And the fact that there is a dere type specifically for her is kind of crazy to me.
It's cool because she's obviously a very unique character, right?
Yeah, that is true,
to
though.
the point where like she needs to have a very unique dere type.
Oh, yeah, and by the way, tundra is tundra.
Yeah,
Is referring tundra like...
a cold fucking barren wasteland.
Yes. So there you go. That's my third final and probably most favorite subtype of deres.
Would you date a Sundra? Would you date a Senjugahara type kind of person?
Probably.
It'd be interesting to see how it turns out.
Probably, too.
I mean, there are going to be points where you're like fearful of not just the relationship but your own well-being, but maybe it'll be worth it, right?
You never know, right?
It could be very rewarding.
Yeah, it could be very rewarding. Just keep...
But I definitely wouldn't date any of my subtypes. Like, I would definitely not date a Dorodere. I would definitely... Maybe
I will not date a Gundere. Are you kidding me?
a Baka Dere, maybe. Like, to all the people that I've ever had any connections with, you're not stupid. I'm saying you're not stupid. Let's move on. So those are the main dairy types that we wanted to focus on. Now, obviously, there's a lot of different ones, right? There's like, there's Kami Dere, there's Hina Dere, there's Kine Dere, there's like Nebui Dere, which is basically the love type that likes to sleep.
So it's like the seven dwarves.
Yeah, sleepy.
Sleepy is literally that.
Like that's apparently a personality type for like love-struck characters. Okay, there's so many, and we would love to go over them, but like there's just not enough time.
And also, you don't want us to go over every single one of them.
I mean, like for example, like Hibedere, right? Like the Princess Syndrome one. Like
That's self-explanatory.
you don't need to. I mean, I don't think they're all that interesting, right?
Yeah.
Give me a Dorodere. Fuck, give me a fucking Kitikudere, man.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, get like a character just to call me scum. Spit on me. No, take that back. Sorry, that came out wrong.
So, that is the end of the Good Anime Palette podcast, episode 7.
The end forever. Do you think we can we come back from this?
You could always reach us through email at gapalette@gmail.com. That's GAPALETTE@gmail.com, all lowercase. You can reach us through Twitter at PaletteGood. That's capital P, capital G, or through our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/PaletteGood, all one word, capital P, capital G. You can visit our website at www.goodanimepalette.com, all one word. You can also join us on Discord. We have the invite link in the show description, or you can just email us and we'll give it to you, no problem. Our music credits is Green Lights by Jahzzar. We also have our break music, which is Min 2019 by minwbu. Our outro music is What You Thinking, the instrumental version by Wataboy. You can find our intro music at thefreemusicarchive.org, and you can find our break and outro music at pixabay.com. Also, we have a new logo, which is pretty awesome.
Yay!
Yeah, and that was
looks dope.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And we all, yeah, no problem. And we also have a Mal Club, a My Anime List Club.
Yep.
We are the Good Anime Palette Club. So you just Google that. I mean, not Google that. You go on Mal, My Anime List.
Go to the community tab.
Yep.
And then look up the Good Anime Palette Club.
And then we will invite you in, no problem.
Yep.
Try to act civil, people. You know, be nice. And we will have no problems.
Yeah. Look, like, just respect other people's opinions. Don't be a dick.
Yeah, just don't. So,
Can we finally do it? Can we finally reveal the sponsor that we have? For the
yeah,
episode?
let's finally reveal the sponsor.
Oh man, you couldn't have enough of fucking Deres, whether it's Jan's, Ku's, Dan's, or Sun's. Hey, welcome to the Dere Cultural Exchange Program, right? Personality types are great, right? Baga, you hentai, fuck you, I'm gonna spit on your face, right? Well, at the Dere Cultural Exchange Program, we don't judge who you are, just who you love and what you would do for them. What you would really do for them. So over the 10-week program, you will learn to either call your lover a dumbass, ball up your feelings and run away, give your love interest a cold shoulder, or threaten to kill their families and burn their friends' houses down. Either way, it's a win for you, right? So sign up to the Dere Cultural Exchange Program. Sign up now.
There you go. So that's our sponsor for today and for this episode. Oh, well.
This was so much fun.
I mean, look. Okay, I
We
think
we really put ourselves out there.
So I said this to you the other day but in what context would we talk about black samurais, mechas, creepy stalkers, slime killing immortals,
pretty boy clubs,
pretty boys, detectives, time traveling delinquents, and love struck types that range from the antisocial to the psychopathic
to the ones that will spit in your face,
to the cold shoulder,
who will threaten to kill your family. I mean, hey, if that ain't anime,
yeah, what is really?
yeah,
Like, where can you get that? Where can you get that, guys?
at the Dere Cultural Exchange Program
Or you can get it at the Good Anime Palette podcast.
on Spotify, Apple, Google,
wherever you consume your podcast.
Audible, Pandora. Fuck, you'll find us.
Yeah, you'll find us. Just let us.
Or we'll find you.
Oh, Joe, Jesus, go away, Will. Go away.
I'm sorry. I really fucking like Yandere's.
I love kuderes, okay? Jesus.
But I would absolutely like to date a
Oh.
kudere / yandere. I would
Okay,
never date it.
quick. What is your hierarchy of the four types? Go.
In terms of like IRL or an anime?
Anime.
Anime, it would be Yansun Kudan.
Okay, for me it is kudere, yandere, dandere, tsundere for anime.
Right.
But I think in real life,
Real life, it would be Dandere, Kudere, Tsundere, Yandere. It's the
yeah,
exact opposite.
exactly, yeah.
The ones I like the most to like the least in anime form, the exact inverse in real life.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So there you have it. An extensive, not so extensive guide on to the fucking Dere types.
And also the taste of Will and Jason in terms of people.
Just to be clear,
love interest.
I don't like people spitting on me. That's not what I was trying to say. It's of course it's a metaphor, right?
It's a metaphor, sure.
Right? Love comes in all forms,
Shapes and sizes.
So
there you go.
don't judge people.
I can't. I'm not going to. I'm like, mommy.
Yeah, that's a Dere type too, right? The Okasan Dere.
Okasan Dere?
Yeah, no, let's not go there. Let's not go there.
Oh, domestic girlfriend wants a word with you, buddy.
Matt, well, I mean, I did say one of my favorite kuderes is from Domestic Girlfriend. So, yeah.
All right. So
Well,
I
there you
think
have
that is it.
Say no more.
Oh my God.
We like Deres of all types. Some more than others.
Yeah.
How do we end this?
I don't know how.
Where do we go from here, man?
Where do we...
God damn. Signing off. hopefully.
Hey, this
yeah.
strawberry milkshake tastes pretty good, right?
Yeah, this black and white one is okay.
Yeah.
Very sweet. I should try the strawberry next time. Anyways, thank you very much for listening to today's episode.
Thank you so much.
We'll come back to you very, very soon. We may even have a surprise. If you haven't had enough of these Dere types, maybe we'll do another episode later on.
Oh, right. Yeah. That is happening.
Right? I mean, everything has to have a follow up, right? We may revisit certain topics in this show.
A Royal Rumble, if you will.
Oh man, let's not say anymore. We don't want to
Yeah,
spoil anything.
okay.
So we'll sign off from here.
All right. Peace
guys
out, guys.
Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a good time. Speak to you guys soon.
Later.